Hello everyone. So today I am doing this woman. It's called Back Off, and I am doing it because I wanted to experiment with a different pose. This is completely out of my head. I did this in my sketchbook, and I am basically thinking I need to sort of work a bit more on muscle and weapons. So that was my sort of bit inside my head, and then I thought, well, what about like some attractive woman sitting potentially in a desert. I didn't really think about a background, I'll admit that. You'll probably see at the very end I didn't think about a background. I probably should have done. But yeah, so I'm doing my usual here. I'm doing a bit of flats, getting everything sort of like in order, and I'm using the loop tool quite a bit just to sort of section off parts that I want to be able to come back to later on and tweak. I don't always do it like that. I mean, but if I'm doing a picture like this, then I do want to sort of have that kind of level of control. Sometimes, like the previous one where I was doing the mech pilot, that sort of became a bit more of a painting, and I was sort of doing it a little bit more traditionally, where you just kind of go in and you just fix it where you need to fix it. But this one I wanted to be a bit more strategic. So my main thought process with this picture was anatomy, and as a sort of thinking about how to do things in a more technical way. So I was thinking about foreshortening. So that's why I've got her arm quite far behind her, and the gun is closer to the viewer. And it's good practice just to kind of test yourself, see whereabouts you are with things. And I think I did all right. I wasn't happy with the nose by the end. I think it was a bit too high, so I do tweak that as well. But that's like the fun side of all of this. It's just you're going in there and you're just carrying on almost like as if I'm using my sketchbook, only it's just like another extension of that. That's what Photoshop is for me. It's just I get to prat around with different techniques. This was fun doing the hair. I think I got a very nice depth of shadow and highlight on there, and that was where it started to sort of really come into its own. Was playing around, just knowing where the light source was coming from, knowing where the shadows were coming from, thinking about the anatomy and the weapon. So I've got a couple of books. I've got rifles books, or rifles and machine guns books, and guns books. And this was a Smith & Wesson 650, I think. I'd have to look it up, but I think that's what the gun was based on, an American gun. But yeah, I am a fan of the trousers. Doing all the creases in that was fun to think about, and then thinking about how the shadow would be cast by the sun if it was coming in, sort of around noonish. I'm blending out here a lot of the scribble lines, trying to sort of smooth it out, and then again I'll start thinking about where the light will hit on the bones and on the muscles. I'm playing around here with the gun, trying to make sure that the perspective is in the right place. So you can always sort of sample colours from around it and paint them back in as if you're like using an eraser. I use that technique quite a bit. But yeah, I think she came out really well. I think that I got a lot of it correct, and I'm looking forward to doing other stuff as well. So if you've got any suggestions, like and subscribe obviously, and just leave your suggestions and I'll have a crack at doing some of them. So this is the usual technique that I would use, which is where I duplicate the image, switch it to multiply, make a mask, invert the mask, and then paint it back using white. And that would give me my shadow. And then I can use the opacity to decide how dark I want the shadow, whether I want it to be subtle or not. And going in with a few highlights. This is like the reverse, so I've made a duplicate and made that screen and inverted the mask, and that's how I was painting in highlights. Yeah, I was toying around with makeup because she's quite sort of blonde and fair skinned and stuff. I was thinking, oh, maybe she's going to need lighter makeup. I quite like, I don't even know if it was like a fad or something, but women who had like white lipstick, I thought that was really cool. And blue lipstick. I'll have to put that into a drawing at some point. Yeah, just messing around with designs now over the top. So just using a different layer just in case I don't like the design, and then using the modes to sort of decide how the colour would look transparent wise. Changing it with a bit of hue and saturation. Yeah, I was just correcting the looping there. Oh, here's my amazing background. I don't know what I was going for. I was something a bit abstract or something, but probably should have just left it. But sometimes I tweak a little too much. But I think next time I might use a picture. I might use a photograph or something like that, and then manipulate it to my will and create something else. But this wasn't really about a background. This was all about her and her body and the foreshortening of the gun and the distance of her rear arm. You know, and the costume as well. I really like the trousers. I like the colour of the knee pads and the design of the sort of circular ribbon thing going around the shins of the design. Just adding in a few more highlights here. Eventually I do go on to trying to fix the nose. Oh, here we go. Just trying to bring it a bit further down. Using samples from everywhere around the nose just to make sure I've got all the colours correct. And then once it's all in place, then I'd use the blender brush to, you know, or the mixer brush and just a soft brush setting, and just sort of blend it together and make it look like it's supposed to be there. Yes, I'm using a Huion RDS 220. There is a link in the description below if you want to have a look at it. I've been using mine for I think a year now and absolutely adore it. Yeah, just getting a bit of shadow from the brow, which I decided not to keep. Going to camera raw, and here we go. If you like what you see, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.
Wow.